Receptive is a specialist product specifically built for B2B SaaS companies to collect, manage, and understand product feedback from your customers, internal teams, and the market. We call this product demand intelligence. In this video, we're going to walk through a few common scenarios to show how Receptive actually works. First, let's say you've been using Receptive for a few months, collecting a wealth of product feedback directly from your customers and internal teams. You have a road mapping meeting coming up soon, and you just want to know what people have been asking for. In just one click, you can see exactly what your highest value requests have been from your customer base. You can also view requests by popular vote, which excludes monetary value, priorities, etc. Some people like to compare the two as they can be very different. When we want to plan which items to build next, we can quickly plot this data against a development effort. You can see this feature over here will add a lot of value for low effort, whereas features over here require a lot of effort but aren't adding much value to the product. Using tags, you can view any of these reports by any group of customers, prospects, or internal teams. For example, high-value customers, low-value customers, prospects in a certain industry, prospects of a certain size. The possibilities are endless. All of the customer and team data that you see in these reports is populated automatically through our JavaScript integration. If you have the data in your product or in Salesforce, we can tag it up and show you exactly what each segment wants. The Receptive integration also allows your customers to sign into Receptive directly from your product, so they don't have to remember any usernames or passwords. That leads us to our second scenario. What if a customer wants to submit a piece of feedback? Most of our customers implement Receptive with a button or link that says feedback or suggest a feature, like this. From that link, the customer either lands here in your in-app widget or into a full-page portal, which I'll show you shortly. The dashboard is purposely very simple with a big suggest a feature button right at the top. The great thing about this form is it is totally customizable. You can really get to the bottom of your customers' pain points and get the information that the product team needs in order to make great product decisions. As you can see, as they start typing, any potential matches will appear below to avoid duplicates. Any feedback they submit gets added to their priority list, and then they can dial in how important it is. You can see that as you increase the priority for one request, everything else goes down slightly to flag what's a nice to have versus what a real pain point is, or things that could cause dissatisfaction and even churn. This system also allows your customers to update their priorities over time, so you get an updated view of demand. And the separate channel allows you to capture all sorts of things that sometimes slip through the cracks if you require your customers to get in touch with you directly. Now I'll switch over to the portal view. Now we'll take a look at an individual request from the customer view. Here you'll find a discussion thread, which often gets used for explaining use cases and digging down into why someone has requested a feature. This is very helpful for addressing instances where what a customer describes as a feature request is actually a pain point that may already be solved in your product, or it may reveal a new use case you can solve in a much better way. Your customers also have access to see your release log, which includes any product improvements you've released, which are automatically added here. This is brilliant from a transparency point of view. Even if you're not acting on the feedback that customers specifically requested, they can see that progress is being made. Finally, we have really flexible road mapping options. This list view, or what's coming, is very purposely high level just to communicate what you're building now and what you have coming. This really helps to keep the right customers in without overpromising specific due dates. We also have a graphical view roadmap, which is theme-based and 100% flexible to fit your needs, whether you want to break your roadmap out by product area or give quarterly or near-term and long-term deadlines. The great thing here is you can create as many graphical roadmaps as you'd like, so a lot of our customers have a roadmap specifically for their sales teams to communicate your high-level projects coming up, and a separate project list to show to your development team so everyone knows what's coming up next. Let's look at another way that feedback can get into your dashboard. Let's say your success team has a request from a customer and they want to track it in Receptive. All they need to do is click Suggest over here and click this U button in order to tie a customer to the request. When they start typing the username, the options will pop up below. Again, this data is populated from your integration, so you don't ever have to do this manually. Once they fill out the form for the customer, they can select which products this request relates to, they can add any relevant feature tags, upload files, and submit the feature on behalf of the customer. Your team members also have the ability to create private requests, so you can work on internal projects and requests that you don't want your customers to have access to. Another way that feedback gets into your dashboard is through our Salesforce integration. This allows your sales team to add feedback on behalf of prospects from within Salesforce. And all of that data is tracked in Receptive. Another way that items get into Receptive is through our Zendesk integration. The Zendesk integration allows your customer-facing teams to close out tickets in 2 clicks by adding a request in Receptive and letting the product team take care of the rest. Receptive makes it really easy to manage this feedback once it's in your account. Most items can simply go to the status awaiting feedback, and as your product team reviews these new items, anybody who subscribed or voted on that request will get notified of any updates via email. We also have a two-way JIRA integration, which allows you to add items to JIRA from Receptive anytime they move to a specific status. Once they're completed in JIRA, they're also released on the Receptive side. Let's move on to my favorite scenario, which is when you have a QBR or client call coming up and you need data now. This one is obviously huge for customer success and account management teams. In 2 clicks, you can see all of an account's needs versus their nice-to-haves, as well as anything you've ever built for that customer in their own personal release log. You can also view all of this data at the individual user level as well. Having instant access to this data will save your team's time and energy, facilitate upsells, reduce churn, and show that you're always on top of your customers' needs. If you have any questions about how to apply Receptive to your company or your specific use case, whether you'd like to use it internally only, or if you have questions about how to implement, just get in touch with us at sales@receptive.io.